Pascal, we be going wild. Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope you're enjoying this hump day. Oh, my Lord, it's hump day. Man, oh, man, what a day do we have for you? What a show do we have for you today? Man, I have to be honest. I'm very excited about this because we have so much to uncover, so much to talk about. There's so much going on that I don't even know where to begin, to be really honest. But all I can do is jump right into it. But before we get things going, of course, as always, do not forget to hit that like button down below. Do that small favor for us. Hit that like button down below as you're walking in, as you're here to hear this exclusive information. All right, exclusive interview. Hit that like button down below. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. All right. That'll be greatly, greatly appreciated. And of course, hit that join button down below if you want to support, or if you really, really want to support and get some other extra goodies. All right. Go to our Patreon, patreon.com/The Pascal Show. And of course, we got merch. Don't be shy. Jump on into the merch. Enjoy yourself. All right. thepascalshowmerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. So if you're watching this for the first time, please go. Share, and of course, subscribe. Well, anyway, of course, like I said, we got a very short amount of time. Let me throw my brother David in the house in here. He's only on for a short while as well, so we got to jump into it. But how are you doing, my brother? How you living?
I'm doing good. Hi to everyone in chat. We have, I think you have an interesting show ahead of us today. So hopefully people enjoy it, and give us a thumbs up if you do.
No doubt, baby. Definitely hit that thumbs up and all that. Give us that love if you can. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. You know what I'm saying? But we have got, of course, like I said, since we only have David for a short amount of time, we to the story that we have going on today. Now, obviously, you guys already know that I have been covering this whole thing that's been revolving around the two women, the married couple by the names of Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner for a while now. They were found basically near a creek a little bit outside of Moab, Utah. I just did an interview just a few weeks ago with the woman, a friend, an acquaintance of Kylen Schulte's, an acquaintance of Sean Paul Schulte, the Kylen Schulte's father. She's a friend of Sean Paul. She actually was the one who went out, was hiking around, searching for these two women, and actually found them. She was the person that actually found their bodies, right? That were literally out of a creek. And the images and the details that she gives us, or gives me during this interview, is absolutely shocking. And it's heart-wrenching. Absolutely. It's a heartbreaking story to begin with. So one of the things is, of course, we wanted to do kind of a little bit of a breakdown, let you guys know what the story is for those of y'all who don't know this story and all that. We wanted to talk about that a little bit. And then on top of that, we do have Kylen Schulte's aunt, Bridget Calvert, is going to be on the show today to give us her 2 cents. And from my understanding, she got some more information that has not been told, and she's going to break it today right here on the Pascal Show. So, like I said, buckle up, sit back, grab your coffee, and away we go. David, so of course, you know, this is the first time that I've talked to you about it, getting you involved in this conversation. But we do definitely have to go back in time a little bit before the actual murders went down. And from what we know, this was two people that were very much in love, recently married 4 months before, 3 or 4 months beforehand, before their unfortunate demise. But what else do we have here? What else do we know so far?
All right, so Crystal Turner, in particular, has been staying around Moab for quite a while. Though she's originally from Arkansas, she did live in Salt Lake City for quite a while. And seems like at some point she also moved to the area of Moab. But Kylen Schulte, I don't think was from that same location. Either way, on March 13th, 2019 is when the two started dating. And about a year later, on April, or 2 years later, on April 2021, they actually got married. And that's when they started kind of a van life and started camping out of the Utah mountains. On August 13th, 2021, from about 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., she and Schulte were at Woody's Tavern in Moab, Utah, where their friends, where they were semi-regulars and they had friends there. They reportedly told their friends that night that there was a creep staying next to them, a creepy man.
Mm-hmm.
And then on August 14th, they were known to be driving, both Schulte and Turner were known to be driving a silver Kia in the area of Moab. And that's the last time they were confirmed to be seen alive. It was on August 18th, 2021, that Cindy Sue Hunter found the original bodies, like you mentioned, in the La Salles, which is a mountain range right next to Moab. And at the time of their deaths, Crystal Turner was 38 and Kylen Schulte was 24. We've mentioned this before. Obviously, there's been some people suggesting there was a connection to Brian Laundrie. However, the Moab police no longer believe that there is any sort of connection. And there's also, as you mentioned, a private investigator that got involved. And he does not seem to think that Brian has anything to do with it either. Though he is asking for anyone that was driving around the mountains during that period, if you have a dash cam, see if you have any video of the Kia or any other vehicles. And this is a request from their father. And if you have any information to turn in, you should call 435-259.
Has now been
Sorry.
Eight,
right. Go ahead.
The number is 435-259-8115. And that's mostly where we are right now. The father is unhappy with the police in the area because he says they're not looking for anyone.
Yes.
And obviously there's some sort of murderer and possibly a rapist in the mountains that they say are safe right now, even though they don't know who did it or where he went.
Yeah. You know what's really messed up is that and of course, you know, David touched on this and we touched on it when and I touched on it when I had the interview with Cindy Sue Hunter. The cops did very little to nothing as far as searching for these two women. Cindy Sue went out into the trails, spent 5 hours scouring the trails, scouring the earth, trying to find them. And she was successful within 5 hours, just 5 hours. She was able to find those two young women brutally murdered and discarded on the side of a creek. And what's crazy to me is that what the Moab Police Department did, or lack thereof, that they barely lifted a finger when it came to finding these two women. It was insane that this woman, Cindy Sue Hunter, got up, went over, walked around, drove in different areas, and found them with ease. But we couldn't even find but 5-0 couldn't find them. That doesn't make any sense. To me, that doesn't make any sense. You know, David, go ahead.
And I also
got a clip I want to show. But go ahead, David. Go ahead.
I sent you a poster that was their missing persons poster. And you can see on there, basically, they point out they're near it's a remote trail, but they were on a cliff edge. It doesn't look like they were even hidden. So the police just didn't do a good job. It seems like they were just right on a trail. I mean, you had the interview, so you definitely know better about this than I do. But just based on the maps and the coordinates, the police should have been able to find them. They're right next to a trail, and there was a high point as well, which is should be easier to find. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be, you know, they can't just go out there and find them instantly. The La Salles are pretty big, but the fact they never found them and they seem to be in a relatively obvious location, I kind of agree with the father that they just aren't doing a good job right now.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like I said, I got a news clip that I want to show you guys here really quick, but I want to read this flyer, this wanted flyer, real quick, because anybody who's out here that may know anything, anybody who in the future watches this video that may know some information, please, this is the reason why I'm going to read this stuff out loud really quick, because if you might know something, maybe the information here will still be up and still be available for you to go and call these people or these numbers and let people know what you know. Because like I said, this is the reason why we're bringing up this conversation. This is the reason why we're talking about it right now, because this story does matter. And it's an unsolved case, just like any of the other missing person cases that we have covered on this channel. They're just as important. Just as important. Doesn't matter race, doesn't matter sexual preference. These are people's lives that are no longer here. And they need to, the people who did this, or the person that did this, needs to be brought to justice. So here it is. It says Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner found murdered August 18th, 2021 in the South Mesa area near the LaSalle Loop Road in the Sal Mountains near Moab, Utah. Now you can see here, from my understanding, they're looking at this must be the car, right? This must be their car, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then I'm thinking that where this photo is, if you see my cursor or my mouse right now, where I think that's the perspective of where they found the bodies, if I'm correct. So from my understanding, this is what they said, how close the bodies were from the campsite. And Moab, Utah police didn't even do nothing. Like, that's what I'm saying. This does not compute. And I keep saying this over and over again, but the math just ain't mathing, y'all. It just ain't mathing to me. Okay? So this is the perspective right here, this little bushel. In this perspective, that's how close their bodies were to the car or to their campsite. This is exactly where Cindy Sue found the first body, which was Kylen Schulte's body. But let's continue down here. Very remote campsite with a gray and blue tent and possibly a silver Kia Sorento parked nearby. If there were, if you were in the area, recognize the campsite above, and remember seeing any vehicles or other campers near the area, please call the Grand County Sheriff's Department at 435-259-8115. Again, it's 435-259-8115, or you can call the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. So I just wanted to make sure that was abundantly clear for those who aren't watching this video that can just hear it. This is important. So if anything you guys may know, please, any little bit helps, correct? So if you may know something, please call 435-259-8115 or FBI, the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Okay. Go ahead.
So the Grand County Sheriff's Office, they know about this, but they say that there's no current danger to the public, even though they don't know who did it and they don't know where he is. So that's one of the criticisms that they're getting, is they're acting like it's perfectly safe out there now, even though they have no reason to think that, because they don't know who did it and they didn't even find the bodies themselves. So yeah, I do think the police are causing this case to fail, because they're just not putting in any work to figure out what happened here. And that is one of the complaints from the father, is that they don't seem to be trying to figure this out.
Go ahead, please.
I was just going to say that they have also set up a charity on their GoFundMe to get additional money for investigators. Like we mentioned, there's also a private investigator going on it. Obviously, no one as popular as Dog the Bounty Hunter or whatever, but he seems like a skilled and qualified private investigator. So that's probably the best way for them to handle this, since the police are not going to work with them, or at least don't seem like they want to work in general on this case. Private investigator is probably their best bet. And if in any circumstance where you're missing a person and the police are unwilling to help, a private investigator that's specialized in that is probably your best bet. because they do have some of those skills. They don't necessarily have all the resources as the police, but they're getting paid directly by you. So they're going to work a lot harder to figure out what happened.
Yeah. I feel like anybody outside of this, right? Anybody, any independent people that are outside of this, I think that they're going to do their due diligence because they're going to have an unbiased opinion about anything. Because if it's because of their lifestyle, because they're a gay couple, part of the LGBTQ plus community, that maybe some people are averting their eyes or turning a blind eye to this situation. That could very well be it too. But I'm not going to jump down that rabbit hole and automatically assume that. But at the same time, there's a lot of bad people out here that don't give a damn about people's lives if it does not go within the confines of a life that they think is fit, right? So God knows what the story is with this situation. And it, like I said, it is heartbreaking, but I do believe that, yes, if there was they need to hire, I would love to see them hire a private investigator, somebody who's completely independent to this situation. Because obviously from what I'm seeing, Moab, Utah police are not doing anything when it comes to this situation. A woman, regular civilian, found their bodies within hours, y'all. In fact, I guarantee you, Cindy Sue, if you put her out in Appalachian Trails or out in the Carlton Reserve, she would have found Brian in 5 hours. I guarantee you that. This woman, what she did was incredible. Shout out to Cindy Sue Hunter and her tremendous heart and her bravery, because who wants to go find a possible dead body? Not me. You see what I'm saying? But real quick, I do have this clip that I wanted to pull up. And it looks like there is some news here. This is something that was put up about a week ago. So let's take a look at this really quick.
It has now been nearly 2 months since the bodies of these two women, Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner, were found near Moab. And while no suspects have been publicly identified by law enforcement, the family of one of the women has now brought on some new help to look into the murders.
Fox 13's Brian Schnee sat down with a private investigator to learn more about what needs to come forward to hopefully crack this case.
For nearly a month, Sean Paul Schulte had been collecting clues at a park in Moab, trying to compile any information he could on the alleged murders of his daughter, Kylen Schulte, and Crystal Turner.
And he assembled all these great clues, including a suspect list.
Now, Jason Jensen, a private investigator, is involved, trying to build on the information Sean Paul compiled.
How many people are you looking at right now?
Our list is roughly 17.
That list is of people who might fit the profile of a person of interest. But since all of the physical evidence is in the possession of law enforcement, he's having to take a different approach.
This is where Crystal and Kylen camped.
He recently visited the site where Kylen and Crystal were found.
What we're hoping for is that satellite imagery will identify the color of a car that was parked next to Kylen and Crystal's camp, so that we got a color, and hopefully if it's clear enough imagery, we might be able to get a sky view and discern what the make and model might be.
Next, another challenge. He's hoping that someone comes forward with dash cam video that could show more about the vehicle.
The video's out there, we just got to get the right person. Sadly, we're talking Moab, where you get visitors from all around the country and all around the world.
Jensen believes the murders of Kylen and Crystal took place on August 14th or early August 15th. He's also hopeful that law enforcement is working towards a DNA profile with evidence collected at the scene so they can name a suspect.
I honestly believe that Grand County Sheriff's Office is doing all that they can, but it takes time.
Investigators do believe there is visual evidence still out there that could help connect the dots in this double homicide investigation. If you have any information, they'd like you to reach out. We can show you how on our website, fox13now.com. Brian Schnee, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Fox 13 News reached out to the Grand County Sheriff's Office for an update. They are the agency in charge of this investigation. We did not hear back. There are rewards still out there for information that leads to an arrest. To learn more about how to share any tips or clues you may have, go to fox13now.com.
This situation is very, it's frustrating to me, because obviously the police department has information. They have clues. They have evidence. Let's just say that they have evidence. All right. Whether that is clues, whether it's not, they still have something that shows what has happened to these two young women. And still, we don't know anything. They are not giving out any information at all with what pertains to this. It's so unbelievably frustrating because, like I said, this is a father that doesn't know what's going on. You know, he is doing everything he can independently so he can find justice for not only his daughter, but his daughter's wife as well. Like I said, this is ridiculous, y'all. This is absolutely ridiculous. And it makes me wonder, and I understand, like, you know, as far as the police department having to do whatever they need to do, like playing things close to the chest. But we have gotten so much information when it revolves around the Laundry Petito thing or any of these other missing persons or murder cases that have been out as of recently. We have information that has leaked, at least out there, revolving around those things. But whenever a police department is not willing to be open and say the truth or give us information that we need, that automatically just throws up a red flag for me instantly. We just talked about a Christina Nance who was found dead inside of a police van in a police department's parking lot. And when they tried to show some sort of transparency, they gave us the worst angle, the worst camera angle in the history of mankind to show us what she was doing. Now we're looking at this and they have some information out here and they're not willing to give us not one shred of anything. Like I said, it seems a little strange to me. David.
I agree with you. That's just, like I said kind of before, just no one's really doing their job to try and figure this out. And so far, all the progress has been made by private citizens, not the police. The only thing that the police seem to have done is decided unilaterally, without an arrest or any evidence, that the killer is not in those mountains still. But we don't even know the make of the vehicle. We don't know if that vehicle is necessarily tied to these murders.
Mm-hmm.
Though it probably is. That's why the FBI are looking for it, because of its proximity. But the FBI still needs to investigate it before they know for sure if it's actually even connected. That's why it's important for them to find out, so that they can actually investigate and look for more information if they're going to do that. Or at least this private investigator that's on it now, and he is doing it pro bono. Somebody pointed that out in chat. He offered to do this for the people.
That's dope.
And I think really any progress we should expect is most likely going to come from him at this case. The Moab police seem to have already moved on from this one. They seem to think it's resolved, even though nothing happened to resolve the situation, and the guy hasn't been found. And I mean, these murders were brutal too. They were likely, we don't have the autopsy, but based on what family were saying and the like, it's possible they were raped before they were shot to death. Their pants were pulled down, and yet nobody on the police department is looking for anyone. It seems they're not looking for the person who has a gun. They're not even announcing what size of the bullets were. So
exactly. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Doesn't that seem weird? I didn't mean to interrupt you, David, but doesn't that seem a little weird to you? Done it though. Yeah. Like, real talk, that just seems that's funky. That's really funky to me. That's suspect as hell. Right? Yeah. Usually we get some sort of semblance of information, at least something, but we're not getting anything at all. So what's really going on here? Why was the Moab police not willing to go and do something about this? You know, why did they, we did this and wash their hands clean of this and walk away and have a civilian do the dirty work for them? She rolled up her sleeves and took the law in her own hands to make this thing happen. it just, like I said, I'm trying to wrap my mind around this to make it make sense. But to me, the math just ain't mathing. David, thank you so much for being on. I'm going to let you go. So go do your thing. Enjoy your day. And I appreciate your 2 cents, my brother. Thank you.
All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good interview.
Thanks, bro. Peace. So, like I said, it's just not making any sense to me, right? We're all still trying to make sense of this whole situation. It's frustrating. And it's frustrating, and it's very sad to me, because, like I said, we all want to know what has been going on, what has happened with these two women, right? We have countless commentators and countless shows that are sitting here talking about this, trying to figure this out, trying to make this all make sense, right? But the real people that have any type of shred of evidence or information out here is the police department. They at least have something. But we have to live and hold true, right, to getting information from outside. And what's sad is that Sean Paul, the father of Kylen, has to go out of his way to seek out his own PI, his own private investigator, just so he can get a little bit of information about what truly happened to his daughter and his daughter's wife. With me, I have Kylen Schulte's aunt. Please welcome Bridget Calvert to the show. How you doing, sweetheart? Thank you so much for being on.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Anytime. First off, I want to say thank you so much. I know I just said it a second ago, but I really do appreciate you coming out and being on the show at the last minute like this. It really, really does mean a lot. Thank you. Because, I mean, we just talked this morning and you were like, I could be on. And I'm waking up like, what? Okay, great. Let's chop it up. Let's get down to the nitty gritty, shall we? So I appreciate you coming on, really.
I appreciate you. We appreciate the coverage. We need answers. So really, really appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, anytime. So before we jump into the unfortunate stuff, right? Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Kylen?
Sure. So Kylen was she was my first niece. So, and growing up, I always wanted to be a mom. So becoming an aunt was amazing. So, I moved to Vail as fast as I could so I could be around her as a baby and help take care of her as a baby. So I was close to her from the day she was born. And then as I continued my adult life, I later moved I was living in Arizona when they were living in Eastern Montana. And I moved there when she was in second grade and helped take care of her and my nephew again. I'd get her from the bus stop. I'd brush their teeth at night. Yeah. And was very close to them. And later in life, as she was a teenager, we had an amazing relationship. And my favorite memory, and something that I say, that even if I saw her right now,
yeah,
she would be 25. And if she walked in my house right now, she would come running up these stairs and climb in my lap, the same as she would have at 5, and wrap her arms around me and be like, Bridgie, Auntie Bridgie. She did it when she was 22. She did it when she was 4. She always was in Auntie's lap and would wrap her arms around me and give me the biggest hug. We had a really, really good relationship. We would talk about anything and everything. I miss her.
I bet you do. I bet you do. This is okay. This might be a little strange to ask, but I'm going to ask anyway. When did she come out? When did she come out to you guys, to the family?
She didn't. I mean, so basically we had a family reunion summer of 2019. Mm-hmm. And that spring, everybody was like, is Sean Paul going to come up from Moab? Is Kylen coming up from Moab?
Mhm.
And Kylen posted on Facebook addressing the family and was like, I'm coming to the reunion. I'm bringing a girl. Yes, she's my girlfriend. And that's that. And that
That's
that
what's
was
up.
it. That's how it was. So but she she dated guys, she dated girls, she was but her and Crystal were they were one unit. I mean, they were incredible together. It was seeing them together was very, very beautiful.
Yeah, because one thing I've noticed, and of course, just one thing I've always been curious about, because I see that a lot of people have been talking about Kylen, right, and knowing about Kylen, but we don't really know a whole lot, or at least in my perspective, there's not a lot being said about Crystal. And what you just said right now is like can you tell us? Do you mind elaborating on Crystal a little bit? I feel like, and no disrespect at all, I've just noticed that it has been like we see about Sean Paul Schulte, we see you out in the forefront trying to find justice for your niece and his daughter, but I haven't heard a whole lot on the Crystal side, and I keep wondering why.
Sure, I think it's just different people have different personalities. Different people have different ways of dealing with things.
Mm-hmm.
For us, as soon as they are missing, I'm creating missing flyers. I'm creating a missing Facebook page. I have it on Instagram. I had it on Twitter. I had a friend creating a TikTok because I had no idea how to do a TikTok. Like, we're like, let's get the word out. And where others shut down and keep it in, we're different. I mean, same with Kylen's mom. Kylen's mom is not a media person. She's not going to be, you're not going to see Kylen's mom in the media, but it doesn't mean she's not hurting and she's not thinking about it every single day. Same with Crystal's family. So, but Sean Paul was talking to Crystal's mom every day, talking to Crystal's mom. And the people in Moab definitely missing them both, loving them both, telling stories and memories of both of them. And Sean Paul very much considers himself a dad to both of them. Yeah. He'll sign his post Kai Cry Dad, KYCRY Dad. He was a father to Crystal as soon as she came into Kylen's life. And so for him, while he's fighting for justice for Kylen, it really is for Kylen and Crystal. And he does not do anything for Kylen that he wouldn't do for Crystal.
Absolutely.
So
I can see that.
Yeah. So you might not necessarily hear from Crystal's family,
mm-hmm.
but that's because Sean Paul is Crystal's family too. And
Gotcha.
and he's doing things for Crystal. I only met her at the family reunion. Sean Paul definitely spent a lot more time with her. One of my favorite things is when he found out the site that they were at, and he was telling the story, and he's like, I didn't know about this location. He's like, I've never seen this campsite. I wonder why I didn't know about it. And he's like, you know what? Those girls wanted to keep this one for themselves because they had a joke when they were in Moab. The girls would find a good site, and then Sean Paul would steal it, and they'd be like, Dad, this was our new spot. Don't come take our new spot.
Right.
So he was like, this must have been one of their new favorite spots. And so I didn't even know about it. So just kind of lighthearted fun that, when he was still in Moab, that they would try to keep their good spots from Dad so he wouldn't steal their secret camp spots.
You gotcha. That's funny. That's funny as hell. And it sounds like they were very outdoorsy. And that's one thing that they bonded on. Not only just as a couple, but with Sean Paul as well, which is really a beautiful thing. How is Sean Paul doing, by the way? How's he? I mean, up till now, I know he's, of course, has been grieving and dealing with a lot, but how's he doing now?
So I just had a good conversation with him last night. He's got other kids too. So, and he's going to get to see his younger daughter this Friday. So he's looking forward to that. So that's a really positive thing. he's back in Montana. So he's trying to find his normal. So that's, he's getting there. I think finding the routine, is important. So, it's hard without an answer, without knowing what happened, who did it.
Yeah.
He's okay. I think, going to Moab and doing what he did helped. But now that he's back home, it's good. He's in his place. He's going to get to see some of his other kids. So.
Yeah. Of course we got to get into the place that I'm sure you've answered these kind of questions a million times over.
Okay.
And like I said, I do appreciate you taking your time to answer these questions and talk with me. But what was the last time you heard from Kylen?
I personally had talked to her over the summer. I hadn't talked to her. Oh, actually, that's not true. Sorry. The week before. So my nephew that was killed 6 years ago, his birthday was August 10th. So we had all touched base like the week prior because we flew kites for Mackie. So all the family had touched base.
So you had a nephew that was killed.
Kylen's younger brother.
Kylen's younger brother was killed. How was he killed, if you mind me?
He was shot.
He was shot.
Yeah, it's the saddest, most terrible thing because growing up in Montana, the number of times I did exactly what he did. He was staying the night at a friend's house and they're like, let's go wake up our buddy. So they go to their buddy's house, throw pebbles at the window to wake him up.
Oh,
he doesn't wake up. So Mackie grabs a cinder block and goes and taps on the window. And his friend grabs a gun and shoots at the window and shoots Mackie in the head. So I have ever since, I'm like, teach your kids, if you're scared, call 911. You don't grab a gun and shoot at an unknown subject. You don't know, an unknown victim, whatever. If you're scared, you call 911. You don't grab a gun and shoot. You're in your house. It's a window.
Wow. I'm sorry. I didn't know that piece. So that's a little bit of a surprise to me. And this happened a year before?
6 years.
6 years before. My apologies. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's kind of
wow. I'm so sorry, Bridget. I'm so sorry. So that was the last time you saw her, was to celebrate.
Yeah. We were all in our own hometowns.
I gotcha. Wow. It's crazy how much it's so terrible about gun violence in general, right? And two of them, your niece and nephew, were victims of gun violence. I mean, obviously. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that.
A pro-gun family. I mean, our whole family, like, my dad and brothers all grew up hunting, and I mean, we're not, and we're still not anti-gun. We're just, pro-gun safety. Teach your, and if like I said, if you're scared, you tell your kids to call 911, not to grab a gun.
Yeah. Wow. I really do appreciate you telling me that piece. I didn't know that. I didn't know that piece. So thank you so much for that piece of information. So the last time you talked to her was to celebrate her brother's life, the anniversary of.
It was his birthday, so it was
his birthday. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, after that, like when she went missing, when both Kylen and Crystal went missing, what was going on within the family? Like, was your brother saying anything to you? Were you kind of left out in the dark?
We were all very much in communication. Especially I was doing all of the social media stuff. So he had done,
Hmm.
He had tried to get the Moab police to do a missing person, but they would only do an attempt to locate because they were adults and that's their own free will, blah, blah, blah. So they only did an attempt to locate. And so we have a family text. So I have 3 older brothers. He's the middle of my 3 older brothers. So it's my parents and 4 kids. So we have a group family text with all of us. So that group family text, he's texting all of the updates. I'm doing the social media. Like I said, I had a friend that helped create a TikTok. We're just blowing up, created a missing, help find Kylen and Crystal group, trying to do everything that we can to find missing people. And that's when Cindy Sue, who I know you've talked to before, when Cindy Sue jumped in, Cindy Sue was like, is this, what is the vehicle they're in? I'm combing through their social media, found a picture they had posted from a trip of the Kia.
Mm-hmm.
Said, I think this is it. Sean Paul's like, yep, that's it. So, I mean, it was all very active involvement while they were missing. Yeah.
So, but okay. So it was active involvement independent, like civilian wise.
Correct.
So tell me a little bit about about 5-0, like about the Popo, about the police.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What was going on? Because I know Sean Paul was out there. Obviously, you're in Montana. And he's of course in Moab, Utah. During
at the time he's in Montana. At the time he lives in Montana. So at the time he's in Montana, I'm in Maryland.
Okay.
And this is all happening in Utah.
Gotcha.
And so when we're talking, and he's like, they did an attempt to locate, and I'm on the phone with him. He goes, they're going to, driving by a campsite that you're going to see a tourist at. These are locals. They're not going, they're going to go to like the story I just told you, where they're finding the best spot. And a couple years ago, Sean Paul's stealing the best spot from him. They're saying, Dad, stop taking our spot. They're finding those secret best spots. They're not going to, the best campground in town with the swimming pool and blah, blah, blah. They're dispersed campers. You need to find the dispersed campers. So you got to actually look for them, not just go drive by some campgrounds and say we did an attempt to locate and couldn't find them.
See, that's what I mean. It doesn't make sense that the cops, right? The Moab Police Department went out there. I mean, it felt like they only went out there for a few hours, and then they were just like, we're done. And then we had Cindy Sue the very next day. Cindy Sue Hunter went out for 5 hours, was able to find their campsite and find their bodies. It just doesn't make sense. And that's why I'm wondering how much transparency was going on between your family and the police department, because to me, the math just ain't mathing right now.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, Sean Paul was pushing them, and I can't imagine where this would be without Cindy Sue. I just can't. And you can look at 5 hours any way you want, but I think she found them incredibly fast.
You're
talking going from Moab up to LaSalle Mountain and finding them off the road. 5 hours is incredibly fast. She's not law enforcement. She's not trained to do that.
No.
She's a heaven sent angel to our family. Yeah. I mean, that is a living hero. God bless her. Yeah. God bless her.
Absolutely. Was there any more information after, right? After their bodies were found? Well, actually, let's go there. Where were you when you found out that they had been found?
I really need to start doing interviews in a different place, because I keep sitting in the same place I was when I found out. I guess this is just where I sit in my house. So
Good lighting? I don't know.
That signal, whatever. So that family text I was talking about, got a text that said, Cindy Sue found the girl's car, found a body. I screenshotted the text. I sent it to one of my local best mom friends.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I'm coming over. My daughter was in the tub getting ready for first grade orientation. She has her daughter getting ready for first grade. I was like, don't come over. Like, everything's a mess. She's like, I'm on my way over. Because we didn't know what was going to be next. So thankfully, she was sitting with me shortly after when the next text came through that said, Kylen and Crystal are with Mackie now. My nephew. So the first text was from Sean Paul about Cindy Sue.
Mm-hmm.
So he lives in one town in Montana. My another brother of mine lives there. As soon as that text came through, that brother said, I'm going to him now. So my brother Kevin got to Sean Paul as fast as he could so that he could be with him as the information came in. So then Kevin sent the text that Kylen and Crystal were with Mackie now.
Mm-hmm.
So on the other side of the story, that's when the police came out and found the second body, confirming that it was Crystal, and told Sean Paul that it was Kylen and Crystal. And that's when we got the family text. So, so I sat here hysterical, hyperventilating, screaming, crying. And at that time we knew nothing, no cause of death, nothing. So,
yeah. No, I totally understand where you're coming from. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Real quick, I do have a comment here. KJ Cool, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, or the $5 Australian super chat. She said, I felt from day one those lovely ladies were connected. Well, that's a question that we will get to here in a second, so I'm going to table that one for right now. I can only imagine where your mind is, where your emotions are, how you're feeling, especially given the fact that this is something that is still not solved, right? No one's been brought to justice. There's information and there's evidence that the police do have that, if I'm correct, the family does not have access to this information or evidence. Your brother, Sean Paul, has hired a private investigator independently of what the police are doing. If the police department in Moab are actually doing their due diligence, he had to go and get a private investigator pro bono to do this, to find out what's going on with these two young women. Now, I understand that you have some information.
Yeah. So, and I think this is probably why I'm so upset today.
Yeah.
I'm just like re-triggered today about how the whole case has been handled, but
Understandably.
Just talking about the way that the police did the attempt to locate, and then Cindy Sue finding them. So as a lot of people know, so my brother, so Kylen's dad lives in Montana. Once we had her services in Montana, he went to Moab and they did a memorial in Moab, but he set up his own clue booth. He sat in Swanee Park in Moab every day, collecting clues from the public to try to find an answer to break the case. And a lot of the clues that came in were valid. He got like 36 clues, and maybe a half a dozen were like just crap, whatever. But so a lot of information was good information that he was able to turn into the police. So many things about this just get to me, like the dad of the victim being one of the key people collecting information breaks my heart. Especially at the times that people forgot that he's the dad. So they talk to him without a filter. Like, this is still the dad. So that's part of it. But so during this time, someone had gone to the crime scene and found key tags. So I have kept the key tags out of news, out of media, because we made a commitment to the gym owner of these key tags. So the key tags were from 2 different gyms. One of the gyms was closed, was a dead end. The other gym, we couldn't figure out who the logo was from. We put it on our Facebook group. Our internet sleuths helped us track down the gym, which was amazing. Contacted the gym, which they were, the second the gym popped up, like that we located the gym, this gym was getting hit with all of these messages. And I was like, I'm so sorry. If you could just talk to me. And they're like, I think we'll wait to be contacted by the police, whatever. So that whole day was crazy in itself. But I, was able to talk to the gym owner and said, if someone could talk to my brother, here's why we're reaching out to you. Mm-hmm. And at the time, very much interested in Brian Laundrie being a suspect. And I said, I'm going to be transparent with you. If you look up this key tag and this belongs to Brian Laundrie, I'm done with this case. Like, throw it in, I'm done. Like, right. If his keys were at the scene, I'm done. And I said, so you don't have to tell me whose they are, but if you could tell me they're not his, that would give me a lot of peace of mind.
Right.
So she messaged me back, said, we were able to go through our database. I can tell you that they're not Brian Laundrie's. So that was settled. She said, we do have all of the members' information. If the police could contact us. My brother ended up calling and talking to the owner of the gym, had a great conversation. The owner of the gym was like, if you could just pull everything that's out there, because they're getting hit with all of these internet sleuths trying to solve the case.
Of course.
Want to get the information, right? He's like, do me a favor, get my gym off of all of your justice pages. And I'm like, absolutely, we'll take care of it. So I deleted anywhere that I had the key tags. This had to be at least over a month ago. Last night, the gym just sent me a thumbs up message, and I was sent him a message, and I said, is everything okay? Are people bothering you? Like, is everything okay? And she messaged me back, said, everything's fine. I was just looking back to see what the date was that we talked. Whatever reason, just checking things out. Also, just so you know, the police still haven't contacted us.
Wait, what? Wait. So, huh?
Period.
Wait, what? So you have, wait, I'm sorry. Well, okay. So you have, hold on. I'm sorry, Bridget. Let me do some arithmetic in my brain real quick. The timeline real quick.
Let me know where it lands.
Okay, so you're telling me that these 2 women are killed in the area. It's found that there are 2 key. I'm thinking that you're saying like key fobs. They're like key fobs to like get into the gym.
A gym membership, yeah, with the barcode.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. So there's 2 of them, right? One of the gyms, because of our internet sleuths, our digital detectives that are out here, did their due diligence, found out what the gym was. You were in contact with the owner of that gym, let's just say, for lack of semantics. That person said, "Hey, I'm going to give you I'm going to give you that it's not Brian Laundrie. This is not it was not in possession of Brian Laundrie, or this is not his key fob." So there you go. Now, before I continue, did they ever give you the information on who was the owner of that key fob?
They did not give it to me. I don't know if they gave it to my brother, because I have told him I do not want his suspect list.
Interesting.
Or his like person of interest list, whatever.
Why not? Just out of curiosity, why not? Before I continue with this arithmetic.
I think for me, it keeps me able to, for all of the groups that I like, the group I help manage, the page I help manage, it helps keep me more, I don't want to say keep me honest, but like as information comes in, I can just filter it better. I'm not comparing it against a list. It's just anything's anything.
Sounds like it keeps you sane too, keeps you level-headed. You're not automatically going, oh, it's this person. It's this person. It's kind of like, it keeps you out of the conspiracy theories, right?
Yeah, it does. And it's, I'm still working full-time, momming full-time, wifing full-time.
Wifing hard out here. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Sean Paul's really been the boots on the ground. We've been really blessed with people that have contributed to GoFundMe to help support him to be able to do it. We set up the GoFundMe for supporting homicide expenses to be able to give him funds to keep being the person doing the research, doing it. So I can't have the list.
Oh no, I get it. So let me get back to the arithmetic, right? We're still carrying the one here in this math. So they know the information of who possesses who the owner of the key fob is, but they didn't give you that information because you didn't ask for it, understandably. Hopefully Sean Paul knows this piece, right? And he's writing his list and he's checking it twice like Santa Claus. Now, when it comes to the latter part, they had that information. The information I'm hoping was sent to the police department, or at least they were given a heads up like, hey, there were some key fobs or some key tags.
So Sean Paul so the keys were turned into Sean Paul at the park, right? Because of the local public lack of faith in the way the case is being handled. They were in a plastic bag. They weren't compromised. They were found at the scene, brought to Sean Paul at the park. He called the sheriff. I have evidence turned into me. They picked up the evidence 18 hours later. Then days later, our internet sleuths located the gym. Sean Paul talked to the gym and then told the sheriff, hey, our internet sleuths located the gym. Here's their name. Here's the owner. Here's the number.
And the cops
have not called
nothing. Have done nothing for a month.
Called them. So here's my only defense for them is that either means they already know who did it because they have some ballistics we don't know about.
Wow.
Or you can finish your arithmetic.
I mean, it only leads to me, there is no or. It sounds like an inside thing to me. I mean, that's the only thing I lean to. I'm
just like, I don't get it. So the public's safe the next day. There's no danger to the public. You're not taking action on evidence. You didn't call. I don't know if you know about the wedding down the street, and the father of the bride had the guest list available to the sheriff for weeks. What have you done with the guest list?
Yeah. Information, transparency. You got a family that's grieving, trying to find the information and trying to find the truth about what happened to these two women. Right. And they're sitting on this information and not giving you guys a damn thing. Pardon my French, but that doesn't make any bloody sense.
Yeah. And I'm totally fine with, if you're keeping information to protect a case, I respect the process. I totally respect the process. But now when I find out you haven't even called on a key tag found at the crime scene, okay, then you either already know who did it, so start processing something, or you're not doing anything. So be honest. If you can't do it, be honest. Call in somebody who can. Say, you know what? FBI offered us their resources. That wasn't enough. We need the FBI to take the case, if that's what you need. Because the FBI doesn't have the case. So if you need the FBI to take the case, be honest. Because you know what? When I can't handle something at work, I'm honest about it and say, this is over my head. I need someone to help.
Wow. I'm sorry. That's a huge That's a huge piece of information, in my personal opinion. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm
So
still trying
anyway,
to
that's
wrap
why
my
you
mind
caught
around
me
it.
on a heated day about the case, because I just
No,
got
I
that
am.
this morning.
I
So
am so happy that you hit me back this morning, because honestly, this is information that we need to know, right? The internet sleuths, those digital detectives that are out here that are trying to find out this information, that's huge. Also, on top of that, given the fact that because there's always this theory that there is a connection between, I'm trying to avoid talking about Brian
okay.
Laundrie and Gabby Petito. I really am. But at the same time, there's been so many theories that it was Brian Laundrie, going on some sort of killing spree, or it was Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie in some sort of, natural born killers type of thing going on. I mean, I don't know. The things that people are coming up with and conspiring is beyond me, and is surprising. To me, I don't see a connection between these two cases. So I have to ask you, do you think still to this day that there's any connection between these two cases?
So I don't really anymore. I used to. I did my own comparison timeline, and I'm like, tell me how they're not related.
Yeah.
But with the cause of death coming out, I mean, typically, I think people kind of stick to the same type of method of killing. I don't know what you call it. So
like,
if
you're saying like you ain't wrong. Like, they have a code, you know what I mean? They have a rhythm.
yeah,
That's like more of a serial killer type of thing, right?
mhm,
They'll only do specific acts to people.
yeah,
all
like
the
had
time,
it come out and Gabby was found partially undressed and shot, then I would have been like, okay, now what are you gonna say?
Same method, or same,
Yeah.
yeah, same thing.
So I'm not saying that Gabby and Brian didn't encounter Kylen and Crystal. I think, Gabby could have found some comfort in Kylen and Crystal the night of the 12th, when she had the argument with Brian and they were separated. But and I definitely had the cases related in my own timeline. But now as it progresses and with Gabby's cause of death, and just I don't know. I have I have a tougher time. But what really still gets me is the day Brian flew to Florida is the day we started publicizing the girls missing. So the 17th that's when everything hit social media for them missing. So, it's like, did that trigger something and he had to do whatever? So that's, so there's some things hanging on, but every time I've been asked about it, I'm like, especially early on, somebody said, do you think Brian Laundrie did it? Say, do I think he did it? No. Do I want it to be him? So there's an answer. Sure.
Of course, it gives you peace of mind, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't, your mind isn't going 15 different directions going, oh, it could have been this guy, it could have been this person, could have been that person.
Yeah.
Speaking
But I
of-
also don't really think it's one person. Kylen and Crystal could hold their own. I mean, yes, there's a gun, so that changes things. But
right.
I don't know if I thought it was more than one person.
I mean, the possibilities, especially when you don't know anything, when the police are holding information, they're not calling the gym with the key fobs that were in the same area as these two women's bodies. Your mind is going to run rampant. Of course, it's going to run rampant. Real quick, I have to ask you about this too. And it has to do with you said, cause of death, right? Gunshot wounds and the like. Did they give you any other information? Did you or your family get any other information revolving around the autopsy? Or is this all that you know so far? It's just gunshot wounds were the cause of death.
It's all that we know.
Why are they holding that information as well? Are they still That's the thing. I don't get it. Like,
I don't know. Here, I'll make it even better for you.
please.
The day that we found out, the investigator had met with my brother in the park, talked to my brother, update on the case, left. 30 minutes later, we start getting all these pings about a media release. There's been a press release that says the girls were shot in the chest, the side, the back, that they were half unclothed. Sean Paul's like, he was just here and he didn't tell me any of that.
Wow.
We found out through the media.
And probably through Cindy Sue as well, right?
She didn't get that close.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, as far as like seeing how both of them were when they were found, type thing. The very disturbing details, let's just say, long story short, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I just see, that's the thing. I don't want to go down that road, but I'm going down that road. You see what I'm saying? Where my mind is.
I do.
They're hiding.
I've really tried to. I have stayed supportive the whole time of law enforcement. I have been supportive of, there has to be a reason. They are doing what they should do. But I have always been an over trusting person. I am, like, the kind girl from Montana. It drives my husband crazy. Absolutely drives my husband crazy, because he is, grew up in Baltimore, lived in Baltimore.
Right.
And here I come, the nice girl from Montana that trusts everyone. So I always trust everybody's doing the right thing. So,
it's good that he's the yin to your yang, right?
Yeah.
That's important, because you always got to have that guard dog around you. Real talk, especially if you're, a kind-hearted, good soul like that. You always need somebody who's hard as nails that can call out the BS real quick. You know what I mean? I do have a super chat. No, I'm sorry. No,
I know. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Ooh, the
Mr.
politics of the
Calvert,
town. Kev Z.
Yes. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Kev Z. Thank you so much. What are the politics of that town? It's a very good question, but that's part of what I was thinking of. Like, maybe this is somebody who is connected. Either it was law enforcement, somebody in the law enforcement, or somebody who is highly connected within the law enforcement. That could be a government official. That could be the son of a cop. It could be anything at this point. Or woman, you never know. Or it could be two people, and one of them might be heavily connected within law enforcement in that town. Like I said, this doesn't make sense to me, and why the police have been dragging their feet. They were dragging their feet since day one, since the moment that these two women went missing, in the fact that it still had to be a public funded, if that makes any sense, public fronted search.
Right.
Public fronted investigation. Doesn't make any sense to me at all. Something's not right. And I keep saying the math just ain't math. And I'm going to open up the phone lines real quick, because I'm sure some people have some questions. I definitely do. Or I already asked as many as I can right now, but I know some people probably have some questions in regards to this whole thing. And like I said, this does not make any bloody sense. But I'm going to open up the phone lines. It's 314-766-4581. Don't be shy. Give us a call. But here's the thing. There's a few rules here, okay? You give the question, and then I'm going to hang up, and I'm going to have her answer, because I'm sure there's going to be people who are going to be calling in like crazy trying to find out some information. So I just wanted to say that out loud. 314-766-4581. All right? So, anything else that we should know before we get a phone call in? Anything else we should know revolving around this case?
Sure. I can tell you that right now, the biggest thing that we want to communicate is that we're actually looking for anyone that was traveling in Moab from August 11th to August 18th. Moab is a tourist destination. So anybody that might have dash cam footage, drone camera, GoPro, there might be something that they have and they don't know that they have it. So anything that somebody might have footage. Our private investigators, Jason Jensen, you may have seen him on Court TV. He's NBC News. He's been doing a lot of coverage for us in the case and some other cases as well.
Absolutely.
So can get the information. There's a Facebook page, Who Killed Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner. You can reach either myself or Jason Jensen through the page as well.
Thank you. We have somebody on the mic. You're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello?
Hey.
You're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Oh, hi, this is Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
I'm calling from Wyoming.
Hi, Carrie from Wyoming.
I was just wondering, nobody has mentioned a hate crime yet. And I'm just thinking, is that a possibility?
Thank you so much for the question. So the thing is
hello?
1 second, sweetheart. I'm sorry. It is
Okay.
a hate crime question. This is a very good question. Bridget, I got to ask you, in regards to this whole thing, could you think that this could very well be hate oriented?
Sure. I mean, it has to be a consideration. Any group that is possible to be targeted for a hate crime, I think that it has to be considered. Whether it be my niece and her wife or anyone else that's a group that could be targeted for a hate crime, I think it's important to consider it as part of the investigation, especially they're, in a state that doesn't necessarily condone their chosen sexual preference. However, Moab is very open in advance. So in a tourist area, so Moab's a little bit different.
Right.
So sure, it could be a hate crime. Do we know if it is? Don't know.
Right on. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Sharon White, and I'm calling from Tryon, Georgia.
Hi. What's on your mind? Speak on it.
Okay, I just wanted to mention in Brian's Instagrams, they must have been out there from the 9th on until he left. And his last Instagram photo, he was eating melon that he had to have bought from that grocery store that Kylen worked at. So he may not have killed them, but he had to have met them because that was the nearest store to them from the 9th on. And I just wanted to mention that to you guys. I don't know if people noticed that or not.
No, that's a very good point. I do think that their lives paths were crossed. I do believe that. But Bridget, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree that I think that they probably interacted with Kylen at some point. She was working at the Moonflower the day of the 12th. She worked all day, and then their argument was in front of the Moonflower an hour after she was off work. So even the chances that they probably went in there that day, it's right in the center of town. They were in town that day. So did their paths cross? Most likely. Does that mean Brian killed them? No.
Yeah, I think that, I agree. I don't think that it is a thing of Brian Laundrie went and followed them or he was the creepy guy. I think there really was a creepy guy and that's it, period. There was a creepy guy and it was not Brian. That's just what I think. You see what I'm saying? That's just what I personally think. I don't think it is. I don't think that there is a connection. I think that like I said, their paths did cross at some point. But I don't think it was him doing anything of that sort. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello. Okay. Goodbye. All right. Well, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to shut down the phone lines for now. So, Bridget, I wanted to say a big thank you for you to be on and have this conversation with us because I can only imagine what you and your family are going through right now. This is a terrible thing. And the fact that the information that you guys are still in the dark is just even more heart-wrenching than I can even think of, that I can even fathom. And I'm hoping that this conversation is bringing a little bit more, is bringing the conversation in the forefront, right? And hopefully somebody out there that's watching this that may have been in the same space or in the same area, hopefully this will inspire some people to step forward and bring some justice to these young women, you know?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Anyone watching, if you go on Facebook and look up Who Killed Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner, on there's I think when I joined, it looked like you were showing it. There's a video that the private investigator posted driving to the crime scene. So if you're someone that may have traveled in the area, that gives you a comparison to look if you may have any video footage. I tell you what, one thing, my heart really aches for families of cold cases. 2 days ago, make 2 months since Cindy Sue found the bodies. And when you start to feel like your case is going to go cold, starts to hurt a little bit more. You just want answers. So if anybody has anything and can find any information, if you know someone that travels, there's a lot of people that aren't on Facebook that maybe only do Instagram or maybe do Twitter or none of it. So, someone that was in Utah, share the story, share the information, and, if nothing else, be kind like Kylen and Crystal were, and share and spread kindness.
Yeah, I second that emotion. One last thing. Are you and your family doing anything to maybe legally to throw at the Moab Police Department at this moment right now? Lack of information, for lack of everything.
Sure.
Have you guys talked about maybe seeking legal help against the Moab Police Department?
I think Sean Paul is having some conversations, but again, currently the focus is the case and not impeding the case.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So, and again, trying to hold on to that faith that they are doing the right thing and are investigating. But right now, every day, Sean Paul wakes up and is working with Jason Jensen. Thank God that our paths crossed and he reached out and said, "Hey, I'll take your case." And I was like, "Hey, this GoFundMe money is only going to go so far." And he said, "I'll do it pro bono."
Gotcha.
So, thank God. So,
yeah, no, I agree. Any chances of did you guys ever option the idea of doing an independent autopsy as well, just to get your own perspective?
Oh, no.
On the results of what they gave you guys.
No, I never
lack thereof
thought about that.
Well, I can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
If it's, I know this sounds weird, but if it's not too late, that's something maybe you guys should think about.
Yeah.
Because that, obviously if they've only given you cause of death and that's it, that just seems a little strange to me. Like I said, it's vague. It's a lot of vagueness going on instead of transparency. And that's just something that a lot of families end up doing nowadays, because you'll find out more information. You'll find out more information that you never thought that you ever find through this independent autopsy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just can't imagine. I forget what it's called when you unbury someone.
Yeah. Exhume.
Yeah. Exhume. Thank you.
Body. Yeah. Maybe too late now, but I
don't know. I mean, maybe that's something we run by Jason, because he would know, at what point it's valuable, or if he has enough leads in other directions. I mean, he's spent time at the site. If he has found anything that's led him to something, supposedly there was casing. So if he at least has some type of gun information that is not been found anywhere else, I don't know.
Right. Well, hopefully you'll be able to, your family will be able to at least shake that police department, so that some of this information might fall out. You see what I'm saying? I hope. I would hate for this to turn into a cold case, or, this case get colder. So hopefully,
yeah. And I
something, I don't know.
Without people like you, it will. So thank you so much. I mean, it's having our voices heard. It's people, it's the awareness of the case. And I just feel like the more we talk about it, that maybe we're going to find that someone that's like, I just heard about this case. I was totally on the cell loop with my dash cam. Look at this video, but we got to keep talking about it. As hard as it is for us to do, we got to keep talking about it. So thank you. I appreciate it. Anytime.
I appreciate you saying thank you, but I say thank you for taking the time to come in and be on here. I know you have to work, and I know you have other things to do as well. But you taking the time to do this and talk with me means a lot, right? And hopefully, like I said, this opens up to other people, and it brings awareness to other people so that they know what's going on, so that we can bring justice to these young women, because they sounded like two beautiful souls that are now no longer here anymore. And so my heart goes out to you and your family, and my condolences for sure.
Thank you.
All you guys. I hope you guys find some time to heal, right? Seriously. But anyway, guys, it is time to get going. I just wanted to say again, thank you so much, Bridget, for being on. I really do appreciate it. It really does mean a lot, guys.
Thank you so much.
Definitely, if you guys can go follow their pages, if you guys have any information, most definitely share, do whatever you need to do. Share this feed, of course. I hate to do this stuff, but I have to hit that like button, because it does help the algorithm get this story out there so that people can hear this all day long. So get the likes up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, of course. All right. Okay. But anyway, it is time to get going. Stay blessed out there. Be safe out there. I appreciate all you guys for taking the time to hear this story. And like I said, share, share, share. All right. Okay, guys. It's time to bounce. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Stay safe out there, guys. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood. We inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.